Did you know that one of the most notorious serial killer trials in America's history went terribly wrong in 1978 due to the halo effect? It was the case of Ted Bundy, a charming and intelligent killer who managed to manipulate the court and the public with his charisma and good looks. Bundy's notorious crime spree spanned several states, and he raped and murdered countless women before being caught. But even after his arrest, Bundy's halo effect worked its magic, and many people overlooked the overwhelming evidence against him, including some jurors were swayed by his charming personality. As a result, Bundy was initially acquitted of the murders he had committed. The families of his victims were left heartbroken and devastated by the injustice that had occurred. However, justice eventually caught up with Bundy, and he was found guilty of multiple counts of murder, but the damage had already been done. This haunting story illustrates the dangerous consequences of the halo effect, which can lead people to make judgments and decisions based on irrelevant factors. It is a powerful reminder of the importance of being aware of our biases and striving to make objective decisions based on evidence, rather than subjective impressions. Hey rational rebels! Welcome to the arena of reason, where we train our minds to spot cognitive pitfalls. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, where we strive for cognitive precision and free our minds from that mental prison. Today's episode is all about the halo effect, a cognitive bias that can lead to inaccurate or incomplete assessments of people or things based on our overall impression of them. We'll discuss how to spot the halo effect in ourselves and others, and explore strategies to overcome it and make more objective and informed judgments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, and share this episode with your friends and family to help them improve their analytical skills. If you're finding value in this episode and want to help our new channel grow, please consider supporting us with a small donation via the PayPal link in the description. It's just a click away, and every little bit helps us create more high-quality content to improve your analytical skills. With your support, we can continue to produce informative and engaging episodes that help you think more critically and avoid cognitive pitfalls. So, if you want to be part of our mission to strengthen the analytical skills of our audience, click on the PayPal link and make a contribution today. Thank you for your support. Halo Effect Fun Fact 1: The halo effect can impact our perception of people's physical appearance, even down to their height. Studies have found that taller people are often perceived as more capable, trustworthy, and intelligent than their shorter counterparts, even when there is no evidence to support these assumptions. Have you ever made a snap judgment about someone based on their appearance or first impression? You may have unknowingly experienced the halo effect, a psychological bias that can affect how we perceive others. So let's take a look at what the studies say. Research has shown that the halo effect can influence our perceptions of someone's intelligence, likability, and even competence in a professional setting. In one study, participants were shown a photo of a person and asked to rate their intelligence. When the person in the photo was dressed in formal business attire, they were perceived as more intelligent than when dressed in casual clothing. Similarly, in another study, participants were asked to rate the likability of a job candidate based on their resume and a photo. When the candidate in the photo was attractive, they were perceived as more likable, even when their qualifications on paper were identical to a less attractive candidate. The halo effect can also have real-world consequences in hiring and promotions. In a survey of over 2,000 managers, 75% admitted to making hiring decisions based on a candidate's appearance, and 80% said they would give preference to an attractive candidate over a less attractive one with the same qualifications. But the halo effect can also work in reverse. In a study of online dating, researchers found that people who posted overly polished or professional photos of themselves were perceived as less attractive and less trustworthy than those who posted more natural and casual photos. Interestingly, the halo effect can even extend to inanimate objects. In one study, researchers found that people were more likely to rate a wine as expensive and high quality when it was served in a fancy restaurant than in a casual setting, even when the wine was actually the same in both locations. One of the most remarkable aspects of the halo effect is its ability to effortlessly shape our perceptions and judgments, making it difficult to avoid falling prey to it. It is astounding to note that numerous studies have consistently shown that physically attractive individuals have a higher likelihood of being hired, promoted, and offered higher salaries. What's more, they are less likely to be fired and can take longer breaks and more sick leave days without facing consequences than others with similar qualifications and abilities. These studies and surveys highlight the power of the halo effect and how it can influence our perceptions in various contexts. It's important to be aware of this bias and strive to make objective judgments based on facts and evidence, rather than subjective impressions. So next time you find yourself making assumptions about someone based on their appearance or first impression, take a moment to question your own biases and consider the full picture. I'm curious to hear your opinions on this. What do you think? Is the halo effect just a natural human tendency rooted in evolution or a learned behavior reinforced by societal norms? Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest discussions and debates. And remember to read what others are saying to expand your perspective and challenge your own beliefs. The halo effect is a cognitive bias that affects us all to some degree, but there are individual differences that can influence the strength and prevalence of this bias. One counterintuitive finding is that people who are generally more confident in their judgments and decisions may actually be more susceptible to the halo effect. This may be because confident individuals are more likely to rely on their intuition and initial impressions, which can be heavily influenced by the halo effect. Another fascinating difference is that people who are more creative may be less affected by the halo effect. This is because creative individuals are often more open-minded and willing to consider multiple perspectives, which can help to counteract the influence of the halo effect. Additionally, individuals who have a higher level of emotional intelligence may also be less susceptible to the halo effect, as they are better able to recognize and manage their own biases and emotional responses. On a more mundane level, there are also some demographic factors that may influence the strength of the halo effect. For example, studies have found that people with higher levels of education may be less susceptible to the halo effect, as they may have developed more critical thinking skills and a greater awareness of their own biases. Overall, it is important to recognize that the halo effect is a complex phenomenon that can be influenced by a wide range of individual differences. By understanding these differences, we can work to minimize the impact of the halo effect and make more objective and accurate judgments. Halo effect fun fact 2. The halo effect can work in reverse too, where one negative attribute can cause a person to be perceived as less attractive or less intelligent overall, even if they possess other positive attributes. Did you know that the halo effect is all around us in our everyday lives? You may not have realized it, but this cognitive bias is at work in everything from the way we judge people's intelligence to the brands we choose to buy. Let's take a look at some practical examples that you might recognize. First up, how about the way we judge a book by its cover? When we see a person who is dressed in expensive or fashionable clothes, we might assume that they are successful and competent, even if we have no other information about them. This is a classic example of the halo effect at work. Have you ever noticed how we tend to judge people's level of intelligence based on their speech patterns? For example, if someone speaks confidently and uses big words, we may assume that they are highly intelligent, even if we have no evidence to support this belief. This is another way that the halo effect can influence our perception of others. When it comes to food, we often assume that expensive or fancy restaurants must serve better quality food than cheaper options. But the truth is, the halo effect can make us overlook flaws in the food and service simply because we are impressed by the restaurant's reputation or appearance. Another example that you might recognize is the way that celebrities are often seen as smarter or more talented than they actually are. Just because someone is famous and successful, we assume that they must be gifted in all areas of their life. But this is not always the case. Recognizing and overcoming the halo effect is essential for making well-informed decisions. But how do we go about doing that? The first step to identifying the halo effect in yourself and others is to be aware of its existence. Once you understand how it works, you can start to notice it in action. To spot the halo effect in yourself, pay attention to your initial impressions of someone or something. If you're making assumptions based on limited information or superficial qualities, you may be experiencing the halo effect. A proven technique is to pause, which means telling your brain to stop and then taking a step back to think about how you arrived at your conclusion. This approach is particularly effective for identifying the halo bias. To spot the halo effect in others, look for instances where their opinions or judgments seem to be influenced by factors unrelated to the situation. For example, if someone praises a product solely based on its brand name or appearance, they may be experiencing the halo effect. To overcome the halo effect, gather more information and evaluate a person or product based on a variety of factors, not just the initial impression. You can also challenge your assumptions and biases by asking yourself questions such as, what evidence do I have to support this belief, or what other factors could be influencing my judgment? This approach can help you make more objective decisions and avoid being influenced by the halo effect. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Critical Conditioning, where we focus on strengthening your mind's analytical skills and improving your reasoning abilities to help you avoid cognitive pitfalls. Today's episode was all about the powerful halo effect and how it can influence our perceptions and judgments in ways we may not even realize. I hope you found this episode insightful and thought-provoking. If you did, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel to stay up to date with our latest content. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. But I want to take a moment to talk to you about something else. If you believe in the value of what we do here at Critical Conditioning and want to support us, please consider donating to our PayPal using the link in the description below. Your contributions help us keep this channel running and producing high-quality content to help you strengthen your mind. So please, take a moment to visit our PayPal and consider making a donation today. Every little bit helps and we truly appreciate your support. Thank you again for listening, and remember, keep your mind sharp, rational rebels, until the next time we meet in the arena of reason. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning signing off.